This is Pet Life Radio. Let's talk pets.
Hello, you're listening to Animal Party on Pet Life Radio with me, Deb Wolf. And today I have some very special guests. First of all, I have Mary Alice Galinsky, who's coming to us, and she's an experienced dog breeder and a friend to Camp Good Dogs. But she's come to us with her granddaughters, who've recently, well, in the last few years, experienced a lot in the way of puppies being born. So we're welcoming to the show Kiara and Sharea. And hello, girls.
Hi.
So I guess you're back in school already?
Yeah.
Oh, but today you're not?
They're visiting from Nanaimo. So Kiara is in grade 7 and Sharea is in grade 3. And they just moved to Nanaimo 1 year ago. So it's their second year in this school. But up until then, we had been sharing a house together. So they've pretty well had me in their lives from the minute they came on this planet. So
okay,
it's been a bit of a different year.
So how old are you, Sharea?
I am 8 years old.
And how old are you, Kiara?
I'm 12 years old.
12. And how many times have you guys seen puppies being born?
3.
3 times in 8 years, 3 times in 12 years. Most people never, ever get to see it. What would you like people to know about the experience, Kiara? What's your memory that you take away?
That it's really interesting when they're being born, and they look a lot different as newborn puppies.
What do they look like to you?
They look really small, and their fur, they don't have much fur, but they're also really cute still.
How big were they?
Yeah, they can fit in your hand.
Oh, okay. And Sharea, if someone showed you a baby puppy, a newborn, and told you it was a kitten or a piglet or something else, would you believe them?
No way.
No way. Okay. So even though they look kind of like any newborn, they still look like puppies to you?
Yes. You can tell a difference. You can have a difference. There's a difference.
And what about as they grow, Sharea? What do you notice as they grow?
Well, they get bigger, they get fluffier, they get cuter, and they get more playful, and then they go through different phases. Their eyes start opening, their ears open, and the run phase, the really jumpy and exciting phase, everything's new, and then the smelling phase and the running phase.
Mm-hmm.
They just want to run till they die.
What about the scratch your legs
That's
phase?
about now. Right now, yeah, they wake up running. Yes, exactly.
Okay, so when you say now, what does that mean? Have you got a bunch of puppies running around right now at Mary Alice's
Right now.
house? Right now. How many puppies have you got?
We have 8, and they're 11 weeks old.
How
There
many?
were 10, but we sold 2. So we're
Oh,
down
well,
to
that's
8.
good. Oh, eight standard poodle puppies?
Oh, yeah. And these ones are, what's the difference between this litter and the last litter, which was almost 2 years ago, guys? What's the biggest difference?
Litter were Moyenne poodles, and this litter are standard poodles. I didn't think it would be that much of a difference, but turns out they're a lot bigger than the last one. Armfuls.
They're armfuls. Okay, we're going to go to our first break and come back and listen to the difference between Moyenne poodle puppies and standard poodle puppies. The mama is the same mama, but the sire, the stud dog, is different. And Moyenne is a little bit smaller than a standard, a little bit bigger than a mini. And standards can be anywhere from 65 to probably 85 pounds. So usually around 70. So we're going to find out about this when we get back on Animal Party Pet Life Radio. Stay tuned.
Take a bite out of your competition. Advertise your business with an ad in Pet Life Radio podcasts and radio shows. There is no other pet-related media that is as large and reaches more pet parents and pet lovers than Pet Life Radio. With over 7 million monthly listeners, Pet Life Radio podcasts are available on all major podcast platforms. And our live radio stream goes out to over 250 million subscribers on iHeartRadio, Odyssey, TuneIn, and other streaming apps. For more information on how you can advertise on the #1 pet podcast and radio network, visit PetLifeRadio.com/advertise today.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
Hello, we're back on Animal Party Pet Life Radio with me, Deb Wolf. And today I have Sharea and Kiara, the granddaughters of Mary Alice. And we are talking about a litter they have underfoot right now with how many puppies?
8.
8 left because 2 sold. And what's the difference? Okay, so these guys are bigger.
Yeah, way bigger.
Did they develop quicker?
Out of a litter of 10 puppies, we compared the first vet check at 7.5 weeks of the previous litter, which was 2 years ago, with the sizes of the puppies that were this year. And our smallest puppy in this litter was bigger than 8 of the puppies in the previous litter. So I didn't think it would make a big difference personally. And so now each week when the kids come to see the puppies, they are blown away by how much bigger they are. Because we had one that was pretty well 1.5 kilos bigger than the last litter. Like he was 5.5 kilos at 7.5 weeks. So he was a big boy. Yeah.
5.5.
But
That's
anyway.
what, 12 pounds or something? That's big, right?
Yeah.
That's a big. That's like when the mother tells her story about birthing. She goes, "Oh, I had a 12-pounder," and y'all think, "Oh, my God,
oh yeah,
poor woman."
Oh yeah, and that was at
Okay.
7.5 weeks. And the part that was interesting is the first 2 people that wanted puppies wanted the biggest puppies we had, which was really funny. So
Fantastic! I just had that happen to me. I have 8 golden doodles, now 7. 1 spoken for, so 6 available. And yeah, it almost never happens that someone says, "I want the biggest." Usually they want the smallest. And you know what, people, I'm going to tell you right now, if you want the smallest, you have to be prepared for extra coddling, extra cuddling most of the time, and maybe extra vet bills too. So the biggest isn't going to do that. The biggest is the strongest. He was the healthiest. That was the healthiest girl, the one they took. And even if she has some kind of default, like a birth hernia or whatever, she is still the most boisterous, most strong of the litter. So that's something to keep in mind. If you want a medium-sized dog, go for a small litter and pick the biggest dog, as opposed to going for a litter of large dogs and picking the smallest, which is probably the runt or the weakling. Not always. Sometimes it's the most active. Hard to say.
But in this case, because we have Moyenne in the gene pool, like the father's father is a Moyenne, a 40-pound poodle, there is a possibility that mixed with this mother, we could have 1 or 2 Moyenne-sized puppies. Like,
you probably will.
Right?
Well, except if that were happening, you'd probably know it already, because when that happens, and I had that with Teddy, Cinnamon Teddy Bear, when he was young, he was born half the size of the other puppies. When that happens, you do have to give him private feedings because the others are so much taller and bigger. They just shove the little one out of the way. So if you're not having to separate, if they can all get in there, you probably don't have any that are really a lot smaller.
We have one that she's very dainty. She's very, very, and she is smaller, but she is like, okay, I mean, it's all relative, as you said, comparing them to, big babies. But tell us about Rosie. What's Rosie like?
Rosie. She's sweet, and she really likes to come for a hug. She might jump on you if she wants to have a little hug. And she really is an exciting little puppy.
But who's the first one to break down the barricades?
Rosie.
Yeah, and who's the first one to figure out how to find things that are hidden?
Rosie.
Yeah. She's the brains of the family.
Sometimes their size difference makes them have to be a little more clever, a little more opportunistic. They have to be,
And she's light. Last night, I recreated a whole new booby trap for them to not get out of the area where they are sleeping.
Right.
And Rosie figured out how to climb everything, jump on a chair, and literally climb over the back of the chair and fall onto a stool on the other side to get out. And then she opened the door so everyone else could jump.
Oh my gosh. That is so Your dog Pumpkin is the granddaughter of Raspberry, and that
Right.
is what Raspberry used to do. She used to open my
so
front
it's in
door,
the gene pool.
sit down on her dog bed, and watch all the other dogs run out the front door and cause havoc chasing my cats. It's like she wanted the show.
Yes. Okay. It's a gene pool thing. Now I understand.
She also used to roll over and play with her ball on her back. And if other dogs took the ball, she would pretend to have an invisible ball so she could play with it all day and no one would take it. And that exact trait, someone called me with a golden doodle that has that trait. That's one of her great granddaughters. It's like,
Oh,
some of these
no.
things
Wow.
just
Wow.
pass along, these weird, quirky things. Every dog that I've known that was,
Mittens does that. They're my granddaughter's dog.
oh
Yeah,
my God.
sure.
Well, Tom, yes, she's one of them. She's the granddaughter of Raspberry.
Dogs at our house sometimes, and she'll just pounce at just nothing on the ground. She'll pounce at it, grab it, run around with it, and she'll do literally everything with it.
Isn't that funny? So they're getting that from their great grandmother. Wow. That's too cool.
And Murray, the father of all the golden doodles, back, he's passed since he retired and passed. He's a long time ago, but all of his offspring, who are now 5, 6, 4, whatever, all of them, including, all of them, pretty much in every litter he ever threw, there was 1 or 2 dogs that were obsessive about retrieving. In other words, they'd pick up shoes, they'd pick up leashes, they'd pick up their own bowl. You put the bowl down, you give them their food, they pick it up, take it to go. Like what? No, kid, come back here, spilling as they run, and every single one of them. And that was him. It's like, so if you are trying to buy a puppy and they don't want you to meet the parents, don't buy the dog. If they don't want you to see any of the relatives, don't buy the dog.
That's a really good point. That's a really good point.
If there's a nasty dog there, there's a chance that the puppy's going to get that. Just like these weird little idiosyncratic quirks. Dog carries his bowl or dog plays with invisible balls. Lovely traits to inherit. But if the dog killed cats, not a lovely trait to inherit. So you want to make sure you meet those parents. All right, we're going to go to our second break and come back and talk more with the girls. Stay tuned on Animal Party Pet Life Radio.
Molly, here's your dinner. Zeus, that's not your food.
Don't let that happen to your precious cat. Elevate your cat's eating experience with the Cat Tree Tray. The Cat Tree Tray keeps your cat's food off the floor and conveniently located on the cat tree. It's the perfect way to eat. It's a beautiful wrought iron tray that easily attaches to your cat tree and keeps dogs and other critters out of your cat's dish. A must for multi-pet households. There's a 6-inch tray for large bowls and a 4-inch tray for smaller bowls. Purchase your Cat Tree Tray today. Go right now to cattreetray.com. That's cattreetray.com. CATTREETRAY.com.
Let's talk pets.
Let's talk pets
On Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Hello! We're back on Animal Party Pet Life Radio. And we are calling from the Vancouver area. We're talking to Mary Alice over on the North Shore, which is a suburb of Vancouver, BC, Canada. And I'm in Maple Ridge, a town an hour east. And that's where Camp Good Dog is. And Mary Alice, a long time ago, adopted a dog called Pumkin, which is her mama dog. And she's a Standard Poodle, but a very, very small one. And she's been mated
45 pounds.
45? Is that what you said?
Yeah, she's 45 pounds.
45 pounds. And she's been mated with, is it
Wooster.
Wooster?
Which is Rooster with a W. And,
Okay.
And he is 62 pounds. We found that out when he got neutered.
Oh, so his career's over. I thought Cinnamon Teddy Bear's career was over. Prancing Cinnamon Teddy Bear, my red poodle, because I don't line breed, I don't inbreed, I don't want his genes overrepresented here. So his career is over in terms of the ladies at Camp Good Dog. But ever since his career ended, the phone's been ringing off the hook with ladies from afar. So just last week, old man Teddy, he's only 8, but still, he's turning 8. So he's perfect age. He got to be with a very young, lovely Aussie doodle from the Okanagan. And it was his first Aussie Doodle. He didn't seem to notice that it wasn't a poodle or a golden doodle. And it was her first time, even though she was 4. And he charmed the pants off her. Oh, my goodness. Yes, totally efficient. For those of you listening, if you have 2 dogs who have never done it before, it can be a very lengthy process. If you have 1 dog, a female who's never done it before, and a male who's very experienced, you gotta hope he's got a lot of charm. And Teddy is a charmer. So it really didn't take long at all. But okay, so let's talk a little more with the girls. Sharea and Kiara, can you think for a second, what's your favorite part of breeding puppies?
See them born, see them grow up, and I get to see these changes that they have, that they get once they grow older, when they get born, when anything happens, I get to see the changes. So it's really nice.
And my favorite part,
yeah, what's your favorite part? Do you notice how they change their looks too?
yeah, my favorite part is when they open their eyes because it's really cool to see them with like their eyes. And before their eyes open, they're normally like, it looks like they're swimming but on ground. But then once they open their eyes, they start like lifting themselves up, which is really funny because they always topple over trying to see them learn how to walk. And then, and then once they start playing with each other, that's the really funnest part.
What about the day they get their collars? Do you get a reaction? Because I usually do. They don't know what it is at first.
Yeah, they kind of scratch at it, but then like they also like kind of get used to it within like a couple of days, which is good. And just today we had to swap out some of their collars because their little baby collars are getting too small.
Oh, they're growing faster than your Moyenne litter, these standards. They're going to grow out quickly and they're going to get over those barricades. I love the stage where their legs grow and nothing else does. So they got huge heads, huge ears, big legs, big paws, and they're tripping over themselves. I love that stage.
That's about now.
That's about now. And then they look like they're on stilts because the legs keep growing and growing and growing. And it's like, wait a minute. I love that too. Okay, so what's the worst part? Is the worst part saying goodbye to your favorite one?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the parts. And
what about the very, very first time that we had puppies? Deb, when was that first litter? 4 years ago? You had the puppies.
That was here, wasn't it?
Yeah, because
you helped? Did you help me?
But we brought them at day 4. And Sharea how old had you been then? Was that 4 years ago? So she must have been about 4 or 5, whatever it was. What was the one thing you didn't like about the puppies being born when you were young?
No,
the smell.
The smell. My son hated the smell. He would be interested for one puppy. As soon as the puppy was born and the smell came of that embryonic fluid, which I actually don't mind, but that would send him up to his room, shut the door, open the windows. He couldn't stand that. And it does persist for a few days, that weird sort of icky, fishy sort of smell.
Kiara and Sharea have a system. What did you do this time? It was different. And she wasn't afraid of the smell this time. I'll give this time.
I was the towel midwife. I would get the microwave ready. And then when she says, a puppy is being born, I throw the towel in, close the door, and I get it ready. And then I run in to heat it. I pass it on to whoever, to my grandma or Kiara. And then she holds the puppy, and then I'll go back.
And what I did, I was there for when they're being born. So what I did, I would get a not warm cloth. I would have them in that. I would kind of dry them off with that one. And then once they're like kind of dry and Pumpkin was done with it, then we would get the warm cloth and wrap it around them and someone would hold them. And then, But the first puppy...
But it's still pretty smelly. You got it. I mean, there's still a lot going on the floor and on the blankets that you're constantly changing and everything. So I think it's still pretty smelly. But you know what? That's part of it. That's just part of birth. It is a messy thing. If you're squeamish and you want an immaculate house, then dog breeding is not for you. Right, Mary Alice?
Yeah, and also one of us would write down the like what the puppy looked like and when it was born and the gender of it.
And the time.
And the time.
So we had a dance in the quiz was 2:27.
2:27 a.m.?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they're often born in the middle of the night, aren't they? And then what do you, yes. And you're so tired and you want to go to bed, but you can't. So what about that, when you're waiting for that last puppy and you're not sure if she's all done? Do you guys take part in that, or do you go to bed and leave that to Mary Alice?
No, we were there.
You
Well,
wait?
this was in the afternoon.
This time we were in the afternoon.
Oh, that's not, yeah, the last one. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and also with her first.
Have you ever gone to sleep thinking they were all done and woken up and then there's another one? Because I've had that.
I think I had that. Yeah, I had that happen once because it was like midnight and I was tired. And I think I accidentally fell asleep, not thinking
Right.
there would be any other puppies.
Well, and you know what? That's why, just for people listening, that's why you need the piggy rail. You need the piggy rail anyway, because you're not going to be there 24/7 to make sure that tired mama doesn't squash her puppies. And that is the most common cause of death in newborn healthy puppies, mama squashing them. And it's because she's so exhausted and they're so tiny, she can't feel them. So the piggy rail is a tiny little tube, basically, that gets secured to the square pen she's in. And it goes all the way around the perimeter. And it allows the puppies to just kind of squirm out from under her, underneath the tube where she can't be, because the tube prevents her body from being there. She can't squish them. And you won't have any squish puppies if you have a piggy rail. You just get some PVC pipe and some screws and a drill and saw it into, or get the hardware store to cut the pieces you want and then just screw it in. And I'm telling you, if you're breeding dogs, even if it's your very first time, you need a piggy rail. You really, really do. So look that up. I've shown it on my Deb Wolf Pet Expert YouTube, and I've shown it plans for them and a little video of how to make one, but it's really dead easy. So you can find it and you can do it. So please do. Don't have squish puppies. It's devastating when you count 10 and then the next day there's 7 and 3 big, strong, healthy puppies have been squished. So don't let that happen to you. Now, I know Mary Alice has a piggy rail because I lent her a whelping
You did.
cat.
And it is a lifesaver. You're absolutely right. Even when they're really, 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 really new and they just kind of meep, they don't make a lot of noise. If you hear a noise, you know that I've got to go quickly check. You can see, run your hand underneath her body. And once or twice, she's had one that was, squashed under her, and she was obviously trying to head out. And obviously they all made it. It was fine, but it was just the idea of, yes, you're on high alert for sure those first few days.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. And even when they're being born, I mean, the girls are talking about recording the time and things like that, but you're also making sure they're breathing, they're nursing, their airways clean. Girls, what do you do when the puppy comes out? Are you doing that? Are you cleaning their mouth and nose? Are you?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. We need to make sure that they won't die the very next day, so then we don't have to be all sad.
But the puppies, Pumkin's a really good mom. She does clear their faces, and she really does pick them up and throw them around and drop them and make sure that they are getting wet. But after that, yes, the girl.
Yeah, I get a little cloth, kind of wipe their face a little because sometimes they have little nose bubbles coming out of their nose.
Right.
So I just keep like rubbing their back and wiping their face until the nose bubbles stop.
Do you remember the cat situation? Do you guys remember that?
Yes.
You do? Okay. Do you want to tell everybody what happened with that?
Sure.
With Pumkin and the cats? Because Pumkin, the mother dog we're talking about right now, a while back, I think 2 years ago, maybe longer, she had a litter. She weaned the litter. She was ready to go home, and we got a call. What happened, ladies?
From our neighbor, she had her
Her adult cat had died.
Yeah, her adult cat had died because she had
4 days.
7 kittens, and we think there was one still in her, and that kitten died. So then she ended up dying at a pretty young age.
So
so the kittens didn't have anyone to nurse them. So
We had to get Pumkin to nurse kitten.
Okay, so even though she doesn't have the right milk, and we were trying to get them nursing on the right formula out of bottles, they were doing it very well. And so they needed the kind of loving care and massaging and licking and warmth and all that from a mama. So we substituted a dog for a cat for a few days. But the dog we picked, Pumkin, before this moment had been a pretty, I'd say, ardent cat chaser, would you say? Something like that.
yeah, sometimes.
So when they would go meow, while she was nursing them, what was her reaction?
Like really shocked. She's like,
I can't imagine.
Yeah, she was mostly calm if their claws weren't touching her skin, but if they were, then she would get a little annoyed.
Well, yeah, because kitten claws are way sharper than puppy claws. And what about when they made sounds, Mary Alice? What would she do? Would she like act like she saw a cat outside?
no.
No.
She saw babies. She looked after babies.
She did. So she was cleaning them and everything?
Yeah, she pretty much treated them like puppies.
So the biggest of that litter was a gray tabby, and you guys brought it to me, and it lives here still. Bobby the Bobcat. Bobby the Bobcat, by the way, if anyone's listening, has been the star of many Camp Good Dog, Deb Wolf Pet Expert YouTube videos and Camp Good Dog Facebook videos, and how to train your cat to come, to sit, to shake paw for catnip. All how to know his own name. All of that's on Deb Wolf Pet Expert YouTube with Bobby the Bobcat, who's the most interesting cat I've had. But one thing that happened with us is he came here right when Bunny, my golden doodle, was having a litter a few months, maybe a year, 10 months after I got Bobby. And Bunny the golden doodle, let Bobby climb into her whelping pen with her while she was giving birth. And he was cleaning her puppies while she was giving birth to more puppies. I actually got this on video. It's on there on Deb Wolf Pet Expert YouTube. It was amazing to see.
Wow.
And
Wow.
It's so amazing. And he like waited for permission. Normally the dogs growl or the cats run away and they don't bother delivering dog. But this dog let him in and he helped her. And I have the video. It was just amazing. And he still has such a connection to dogs, that cat. Like there's no other place he should live but Camp Good Dog. I really think so. So thank you, ladies. You can check him out if you ever wonder how he's doing. You can check him out at Deb Wolf Pet Expert on YouTube.
It's so awesome. Cool.
Do you remember him? Do you remember that?
I
great
totally
cat?
remember him. What we also have to add in is the kids weren't there for the birth and delivery of those puppies, but because it was our neighbor and these kittens needed every 3-hour feeding, because they were only 4 days old when their mother died, the neighbors, and then we would take turns with the neighbors feeding. And what else did we have to do with puppies and the
Oh,
kittens?
yes, the
We
other
learned to
end.
poop and pee them
Poop and poo them, yeah.
because the mom wasn't there to make sure that they got pooped and peed.
And Pumpkin wasn't doing it? Pumpkin wasn't licking them to make that happen?
And yes, she did. But again, there was like every 3 hours, the puppies and
Yeah.
the kittens, I should say, I'm sorry, the kittens needed to be fed. So the owners of the kittens, they would do bottle feeding. And then with every bottle feeding, you had to poop and pee them. And then we would take the puppies for a few feeds a day. And Pumpkin would have them. And then the girls would poop and pee them. And then when Pumpkin just couldn't handle those little claws anymore, then we would bottle feed them and poop and pee them. So when it came to having the other litters, what did we do?
So it was very helpful.
Yeah, we learned a lot with the kittens, actually.
So, okay. So when you say you poop and peed them, I have to let people know what you're talking about. So when a newborn puppy or kitten needs to release urine or feces, it can't do that on its own. Its muscles aren't developed enough. So if you just feed and feed and feed this newborn and nobody helps it get rid the other end, it will get very, very ill. So what has to happen is the mother takes her tongue and she licks the areas where the dog would normally urinate or the kitten would normally defecate. She licks those areas. It stimulates the movement and the urine comes out, the poop comes out, the puppy, the kitten is empty again and can digest again. And that's how it goes for quite a while. So oftentimes pregnant mama dogs, pregnant mama cats will even start looking for feces. They'll start looking to eat it and find it. And they have this really strong drive to clean it. And, you don't want to scold for that if your dog or cat is pregnant because it's going to come in handy very, very soon. And a lot of this, when the girls talked about or when their grandma, Mary Alice, talked about Pumpkin tossing around the puppies a little bit. A lot of times humans will want to interfere with that. They'll think, oh my God, what's she doing? Stop. But actually, that's what she needs to do to get that fluid out of their lungs. So it's a fine line. You have to watch the mama and make sure she's not being too rough. She's not being too aggressive. If you've got a well-balanced mama that's well taken care of in a very relaxed, comfortable setting, and you're right there, you should be able to tell that some of this roughness is good. It's healthy. And if you interfere with it, you'll actually have fluid in the lungs. You might have a dog, if you don't let her eat and lick the genitals of the dog and clean up the mess. If you don't let her do that, dogs and the kittens are going to get really sick. So it's a little bit hard for us with our human sensibilities to see this stuff, but it's what nature intends. And then the whelping pen is very clean. And sometimes I try to explain to new breeders that it's helpful to consider that the only thing these puppies and kittens are eating is the mother's milk. So when she cleans that up at the other end of them, it's not nearly as horrible as you might think. It is from her and it's going back to her, and it's just nature's way, and it's totally in balance. So the same is true when the babies are born. Each puppy is born, each kitten is born, usually inside a sack of amniotic fluid with another sack trailing it. And the mother will try and eat a lot of that. And again, people find that really hard to watch, but it's nutritionally good for her, and it cleans up the whole mess and makes it less likely predators will come. So if she wants to, let her. If she's having 22 puppies, like the world record holder Honey, who was then beat by Tia the Mastiff, who had 24 puppies, she's probably going to stop at around 6. After she's eaten 6 of those, she's done. So then you start to clean it up for her because she doesn't want to be sitting in it. She doesn't want it all around. It feels unsafe to her. But as long as she wants to eat it, as long as she wants to clean this kind of stuff, let her. The second you switch the puppies or the kittens to kibble, your mama animal is going to be a lot less interested in cleaning that up. So be aware of that. It's going to be your job.
Poop bag city.
Right, Mary Alice? I mean, I figure it's 4 pups a day per puppy. So if you got 40 poops a day. And when people ask me, oh, it must be so hard for you to sell the pups and see them go. And I think 4 less poops today, 1 puppy gone. It makes it a little easier.
Well, it's something also too that what was interesting is this time I tried a different kibble. And what surprised me was how little smell there was using this different kibble that I'd never used before.
What kibble? What kibble? Wait a minute. Tell me what kibble. We need to know. It's
called Biljac, Biljac. It's more like a pellet. So where a kibble, when you put a kibble in water, for when you're getting them ready to eat food and you kind of mash it out a bit, naturally a kibble swells. And then over time it softens, and then you kind of mash it into kind of a, oatmeal kind of a texture, right?
Right.
When they're starting to eat. Well, the reason I tried this stuff is that the rep was probably there seeing me coming and, gave me the sales pitch, but it was true. And that was the pellet. When you added water, it didn't swell. It actually disintegrated so that it became a mash, a really soft, like pablum, as opposed to oatmeal. And the puppies, which are transitioning into food around the 4-week-ish mark, they could lick it, and it was, obviously very filling and satisfying. But even though, yes, there is a smell, but compared to when we used kibble that would swell and obviously took a lot more to be digested, or maybe not as much got eaten, digested by the body, I don't know. But the smell is significantly less. And the texture of the poops are, if you have to clean up, 400 poops a day, you say it's only 4 each. I swear it's like 20 each, but never mind. But it doesn't matter. It's actually really interesting that you start to pay attention to things like the texture of what's coming through their body.
For sure.
And it was an interesting experiment. Now they are 11 weeks and they are bored silly of this food. So I have to mix it up again. But during that time, that was really significant because once I changed the food, I noticed right away. The first thing I noticed was the smell.
Well, I use canned food to begin with, and I mix it with the kibble, like you say, with water and make like a soup, and it stinks. And their food stinks. It's a stinky, messy thing. But by then, for me, they're outside in a sheltered, heated barn, so I'm not so worried about that. I don't tend to have them in my house once they're on kibble. No. We're
well, you see, I'm
1 to 2 weeks inside.
And it's one of those things that I think you're always learning. I'm sure you've done how many zillions of litters, but you're always learning, right? And that's the key. Is each mom has her own dynamic. Puppy, is going to respond. Some might look like they need help. And I remember we had a really small litter in our puppy in our second litter, and it was little. So the girls were supplementing it and babying it and holding it and all this. It ended up at 7.5 weeks, 500 grams bigger than all the rest. And when he finished up, he was the spit of his noodle.
Vegas?
Great-grandfather. His great-grandfather. He's the spit, and he's 72 pounds, and he's this white.
Oh, he's
like
Noodle.
mother or father, and he's Noodle's clone. He is just.
Oh my goodness.
And he's 3 generations away from the one that he's the double for. So it's really
That's
funny.
Noodle Poodle. My Noodle Poodle, son of Vegas. Vegas was 90 pounds in his prime. Vegas was a royal, which is one size bigger than a standard. So originally all my dogs were a lot bigger, but people wanted smaller. So I started to keep the smallest, healthiest dogs and breed smaller. Normally, the papa does determine the size of a litter. So usually we want the female to be a little bit bigger than the male because she's going to have to carry all the babies. And you pick a small male and you get small puppies. But like you're saying, there's often a throwback. 1 or 2 in the litter who are gigantic like their ancestors, and 1 or 2 who may be petite like the new one you're shooting for. And you just don't know. The same with color in poodles. You know, there's you just can't be racist about color when we're talking about poodles because it doesn't matter what you got. You don't know what you're going to get. And every color in the rainbow is there. And they're all just as gorgeous as any other. Like red, cream, apricot, party, mixed colors. I mean, brown, copper was sort of a browny red. One of, the father of your Moyennes.
Yeah, but he faded.
There's
a lot of poodles fade. Yeah.
My red Ted Raspberry, he's still red, especially after he's been groomed. Oh, he's so red. He's beautiful. But yeah, you don't know. I met the people with the Aussie Doodle from the Okanagan came over, and they told me that when their dog was a puppy, she was a striking 3 colors, lots of brown. And now she's totally silver and gray, no brown. So you just don't know. And all silver standard poodles are born black. So if you get a black poodle with a silver face, you're getting a silver poodle in a year or 2.
Wow. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. No, I think quite honestly, when I look at the girls and they have their friends come over and we're talking about, having seen puppies being born, I'm sorry you're hearing in the background this is Wooster, the father of the puppies. He barks whenever the puppies are out and loose.
Aww.
And I can't get him to accept the fact that they live here.
And they're allowed to be out. He's like, no, get back in there. You're supposed to be in that pen.
Oh, no. He is stressed. He's very anxious about the puppies. So it's unfortunate, but he was great. And when they were little, he would pee and poop them and clean them and lick them. And if you hold one, he will still try to pee and poop it. But the minute it's on the ground, the floor is lava. The poor guy just is stressed out of his mind.
The males don't, most of the males really don't enjoy puppies. My Teddy, he enjoys only the female puppies and only when they're old enough to be what he would consider future dates,
Yes, exactly.
Okay, well, I'm afraid we have to end the show, Mary Alice. It's been so good. I just want to say goodbye to the girls and see if there's anything they'd like to say before we wind up. Sharea, Kiara, is there anything you'd like people to know?
No, we said everything.
You've said everything. Well, maybe you'll send me some pictures and I'll post them on my Camp Good Dog Facebook. So if people want to look at these puppies, they can at Camp Good Dog on Facebook. And last night, 2 nights ago, while driving, I hit a bear, a baby bear.
What?
Yes. But I'm fine and the bear is fine. And I talked to my friend Ivan, the lion tamer, and he said, he looked at my car, he saw the damage, and he said, no, that bear's fine. The only thing that can hurt a baby bear is a bigger bear. So I'm not too worried about the bear who outran my car, collided with the tire, took the hubcap, and kept running. He's okay. My car, not so okay. If you want to see what the bear did to my car, check out Deb Wolf Pet Expert on Facebook. I'm going to post the pictures today. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. It's been great. Thank you, Mary Alice. Thanks, Kiara.
Thank you.
Sharea. All right. From Deb Wolf and Animal Party. Be good, dear animals.
Let's Talk Pets every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.